ಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಆದರಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ಬರಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ನಮಸ್ತೆ, ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್.
ಅಶ್ವಿನಿ ನಾಚಪ್ಪ ಅವರು ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನಮಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮಿಂಚಿನ ವೇಗಕ್ಕೂ ಮುಂಚಿತವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಮೊದಲು ಬರೋದೇ ದ ಫಾಸ್ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಟರ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎವರ್ ಸೀನ್, ದ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಲೆಬ್ರೇಟೆಡ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಟರ್. ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಮೆಡಲ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ ಮೆಡಲ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ ಹಾಗೂ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಅಥ್ಲೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮದೇ ಆದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಛಾಪು ನೀವು ಮೂಡಿಸಿದಿರಾ. ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆನ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್, ಆನ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್, ಆನ್ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್, ಎಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ರೂ ಯು ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಬೀನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಒನ್. ಯು ಹವ್ ಬೀನ್ ದಟ್ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್, ದ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್, ಅಂಡ್ ಯು ಹವ್ ವನ್ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್.
Thank you so much. Thank you. But I think, it just doesn't define you by the medals that you win. I think there are many, many athletes, whether it's Usha, Shiny, all of us have played a part in our role, in our journey. So I think it would be nice to recognize all of their achievements, because without them I wouldn't have achieved this.
One milestone, one mailigalllu idre, you look up to that and you want to achieve.
Absolutely. I think what is very important is, as you said, milestone and guri irbeku, and unless you have that goal and the zest to do it, ಯಾವುದೇ field ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, but if you don't have the love for doing it, then you do not really put your 100% to it. So to achieve that goal, I think it's not just my performance, it is my support system that works with me, my competitors that work against me to motivate me to beat them. So I think it's a larger game that is required for everybody in success.
So our free spiritedness, our zeal, zest, ಪ್ಯಾಷನ್ ಹಾಗೂ ಡ್ರೈವ್.
ಹೌದು, ಅದಿಲ್ಲದೆ there's no challenge in life at all. ಯಾವುದೋ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೆ without a challenge there is no fun in doing anything.
ಆಸ್ ಅ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್, ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ಯಾವುದು? ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಯು ಹವ್ ಸೀನ್ ಲೈಫ್, ಯು ಹವ್ ಸೀನ್ ಅ ಲಾರ್ಜರ್ ಪರ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಫ್. ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಚ್ಯೂ ಯಾವುದು? ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್?
Well, in hindsight, if you go back, if I have to recollect my journey, I think ನನ್ನ ಕ್ರೀಡೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು, the ಕ್ರೀಡೆ journey started by the time I was 9 years old or so. ಆವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಕಂಠೀರವ ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂ ಹತ್ರ ಇತ್ತು. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಶಾಲೆಯಿಂದ ಹೋಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ತಾಯಿ ಅವ್ರ ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಮಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ, ಡೋಂಟ್ ಪ್ಲೇ ಆನ್ ದ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಟ್. ಸೊ ದೇ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ರನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಒನ್ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿನ್ ಸ್ವೀಟ್. ವಿ ವರ್ ಅ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಫ್ 5-6 young kids, and the then coach, Mr. Mohinder Singh Gill, he used to give us those 5 paisa sweets, 5 anna sweets, and I think I used to love collecting the maximum number of sweets, and that led to
the goals,
the medals and the accolades. True. After that, so there was no looking back, and I think the most important thing is I loved doing it.
Exactly.
I think that unless you have that spirit and the love for it, you will not look at another opportunity. So that's something that I stuck to. Yeah.
Okay. ಸೊ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಯಾವುದು ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ವಿ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬಾಲ್ಯದ ಒಂದು ಪರಿಚಯ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಆದರೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ವೇ ದ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಇಸ್ ನರ್ಚರ್ಡ್, ಎರಡೂ ತುಂಬ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಗಿವ್ ಅ ಗ್ಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಇಂಟು ಯುವರ್ ಚೈಲ್ಡ್?
Well, as a growing up child, I think my father was the only earning member in the family. He had left his home when he was young. He was working for Birlas in Calcutta, trying to survive, and we started our early journey in Calcutta because I think the first 6-7 years of my life I lived in Calcutta, and there it was we came from very humble beginnings, so life was tough, and my father's factory would go on lockouts for months together. Mm-hmm. So there was no food to eat, no money coming in as a salary, and most importantly, I think my parents took the decision of shifting my sister and me along with my mother to Bangalore, basically to pursue an education, because ali factory lockouts adre shalenu ella close agirtade. So this was, I'm saying, early 70s.
Yes.
And therefore we moved down. My father continued to work because he was the only breadwinner in the family. And we came down to Bangalore basically because it's closer
for
to
livelihood.
My mother's more, and started looking for schools. I think I remember my mother walking to every school in the vicinity just to check what school was available for our kids because the admission wasn't there. It was early. We came to Bangalore, 1979 December, and then schools illi Bangalore schools March to April was the academic year. Calcutta dalli December to December ittu. So to get an admission, and my sister got an admission, and for me it was a little later on in the second grade. So life was extremely tough. Avaga car ittilla, hana ittilla, so nadಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ.
Opportunities ಗಾಗಿ,
livelihood, and my mother really struggled for that. So I think ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ದಿ ಎನ್ಕರೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ದಟ್ ಕೇಮ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ವಾಸ್ ಎನಾಮಸ್. ಆವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮದು ಪಿ ಟಿ ಮಿಸ್ ಶ್ರೀಲಂಕಾದವರು ಇದ್ದರು ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಮೈ ಸಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೀ ಡಿಡ್ ವೆಲ್ ಇನ್ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್, ಇನ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್, ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಸ್ ವಿ ವರ್ ಚಾಂಪಿಯನ್. ಆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಪೈಕ್ಸ್ ಔಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಂದರು ಶ್ರೀಲಂಕಾದಿಂದ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಪೈಕ್ಸ್, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಅವಾಗ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವೈಟ್ ಶೂಸ್, ಬಾಟಾ ಶೂಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಓಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಸೊ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಪೈಕ್ಸ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಿ ಡಿಡ್ಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದ ಮನಿ, ಶಿ ಬ್ರಾಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಬೋತ್ ಮೈ ಸಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೈ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೈ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ ಸೂಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಬೈ ಎಂ ಪಿ ಗಣೇಶ್. ಆವಾಗ ನಾವು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ಲೇ ಓಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ನೇ ಇತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಶಾಲೆಯಿಂದ ಬಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂ ಹೋಗೋದು, ಹಾಗೆ ಬೇ ಫೀಟ್ ವಿಸ್ ಟು ರನ್. ಸೊ I think there is a learning in every stage of my life, which is a learning for life, and it continues. And if I have to recollect those tough times, it's made me the person I am. I recognize the fact that life is not a bed of roses for all, though for our children it may be, but they have their own challenges, because we wouldn't want our kids to go through that, so then we provide them all, but they have other challenges added to it. So I think in everyone's life, having walked the talk, having walked that path, and I think there's a great amount of respect for everyone. That has, it's not just my parents who helped me, it's my teachers who helped me. My 10th standard exam, I was in the Asian Games camp. My board exam, practical, commerce project was done by my teacher. Because I was not there, I was down with paratyphoid. So it's very hard to find such people today.
Yes.
It's very hard. So my success goes to a lot of people. To the families that supported us when we had nothing, to my friends who walked along with me. I mean, of course, sacrifices. Iga yella guri itmele you have to make those sacrifices, whether it's at a home. And I think for young children, what is important is for parents to recognize that interest. And because my parents recognized that interest, though it was tough, my mother would mortgage all her jewels to send us to one competition. It was because there was no money. Avaga hananu ittilla. So to get unreserved, we would go compete, come back with a medal. And of course, the then government, Mr. Gundrao and all, recognized sports. So we'd get some small amounts of money for one gold or something. And, so that was life.
So every block you have been building it through a lot of sacrifices, hard work.
It has. And I think, and that's why I said I respect everyone, whether they were against me or for me. Everybody had a role to play, and that really shapes you into the person you are.
True. That's that's the reason they say you can't change paristhiti, the situation around you.
You go along with it, and you change yourself and adapt to that
change
situation.
manasthiti. That is how you adapt to that particular situation.